up, everybody? Once again, this is Ed here for the Blood Type Online YouTube channel, and today we have a DVD review. Now, this isn't a movie that you're going to see too many sites doing YouTube videos on, and obviously I'm going to give the warning out before I get started. This product is not for anybody under the age of 18. It's actually an adult film, and it's something a little bit different. The movie that I'm talking about today is from 1982. It played quite regularly at the Avon series of theaters in New York City, and that film is from Phil Prince, The Story of Prunella. Now, this movie is just released out on DVD, legit DVD, by the way, by the folks at After Hours Cinema. And first off, let me just give you the background of this movie. People who are unfamiliar, who might not know who Phil Prince is an adult film director. He was making movies in the late 70s, early 80s, and there was quite a bit of controversy about him. Basically, I'm not going to get into that here. I'm going to talk more about the movie. This movie is one of his films. He was more prevalent or known to be in the roughy type of film. And this movie has Ron Jeremy in it. He's one of the leads in the film. Also, you have a couple other people that are mainly used by Phil Prince in his films. Adult actresses like Sherry Champagne and Ambrosia Fox. I believe Nico's in this one as well. And obviously the main man, George Payne. If you don't know who George Payne is, bear with me, you will. But basically what's going on in this movie is on the way to a bridal shower, Prunella and her mother are actually stopped by three criminals who just broken out of prison. One of them happens to be George Payne. They take them back to wherever the party is going on, and they basically assault three women. And the film is a hardcore film, so I'm sure you can probably get the gist of how this happens. But at the risk of sounding like a complete creep, bear with me for a second. There are many adult film directors out there who don't do anything differently than what you would expect. You know, movie with hardcore sex in it. Phil Prince, on the other hand, is a director who has made some of the most unique and interesting adult films I've ever seen. They're really, really over the top. A lot of them are fetish stuff, but mainly these films are just completely whacked out. And at the center of the majority of these films is adult film actor George Payne. George Payne was a guy who apparently started out in gay films, which hurt him, from my understanding, in breaking into the regular adult industry. But the fact is that he could play quite the psychopathic character, and I'm sure that's what kept him in the straight films for sure. Phil Prince used him in a ton of stuff. He shows up in Phil Prince movies like Dr. Bizarro, The Oriental Techniques of Pain and Pleasure, Kneel Before Me, stuff like that. But most of these movies are pretty much, I won't say the same, but they're of the same type. They're roughies. And what roughies are they're not erotic horror or erotic adult films. There's nothing erotic about them. They were made for a specifically weird audience, I guess. People into the rough trade stuff, the rough sex, stuff like that. But anyway, Phil Prince's movies actually transcend what they are, which are basically rough adult films. And The Story of Prunella is another film that's a great example of that. Ron Jeremy plays a detective who's actually dating the character of Prunella in the movie. And his character is hilarious in the movie. He has some really funny lines. It's Ron Jeremy. If you know who Ron Jeremy is, even from not watching his adult films, the guy's basically a ham. So there's some really funny stuff in the movie with him. But the thing is about this, that fans, people that know Phil Prince, people who would be interested in this movie, are going to want to know about, and that's the special features on the DVD. The special features on this DVD, first off, let me just tell you guys, this is totally worth picking up, especially if you're a fan of this stuff. It's a must-see. If you've even heard the name of Phil Prince and you're interested, pick it up. It's not disappointing, and I'll tell you why. There's actually a documentary on here. It's a little over 20 minutes or so, and it's called The Prince of Porn. Prior to seeing this movie, I was aware of Phil Prince. I actually have a terrible, terrible bootleg copy of this from another company that I'm not going to mention. But, After Hours Cinema went out and did the real deal. They cleaned up the film. But they put a Phil Prince documentary on there, which I've only seen excerpts of from being on YouTube. There's actually, if you look in our favorites on the Blood Type channel, the Prince of Porn documentary is one of the ones in there, and it's only a clip of it, but it gives you an idea of what this is. And if you want to find out a little bit about Phil Prince, and you might not be interested in this movie, check that out too. But this actually has the full documentary on it, which has to be seen to be believed. It's hilarious. It also has editor commentary. Brian O'Hara is the guy's name. He actually made the Phil Prince Prince of Porn documentary, and he was the editor on the Story of Prunella. They got him for commentary tracks. He does commentary over the movie and over the documentary. Both of them are fascinating. They're great commentaries. I highly recommend those as well. And also, just let me show you guys this too. And this is something I noticed about After Hours Cinema, which is another reason why I'm really glad they're the type of people that release this stuff, is they always do really cool liner notes. They're really intricate. They find somebody who's knowledgeable about the subject, and they get them to write these. And it's not, a lot of times with liner notes, it's usually just something that flips open and it's two-sided. But as you can see here, this one has pages of stuff. And there's a lot of cool information in here. And as you can see, I'm going to try and show you guys. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see on the camera. But it says the Avon Dynasty Revisited, which is actually a little telling of what the Avon theaters are. If you're unaware, it's like a little bit of lesson to come with your movie here. It's pretty cool. And also there's some information on here too about the Prince of Porn himself, Phil Prince. So if you look through that, there's a story on Phil Prince in there too that's very interesting, especially if you don't know a lot about him. That's the one cool thing that I really like about this DVD. I had known who Phil Prince is, and I'm sure a lot of people have, you know what I mean? He has a cult audience and a cult following. And the thing that's really cool about this disc is it basically treats you like you don't know that much about Phil Prince. So it's a really good introduction to his stuff. So if you're into oddball adult films or just wacko exploitation films and stuff like that, check out Phil Prince, and more specifically, check out The Story of Prunella. It's available now on DVD from After Hours Cinema. They did a great, great job. I can't tell you how much of a great job they did on this DVD. It's excellent. It's a long time coming, and I'm finally glad that somebody's picking it up and doing the right thing with it, actually trying to put a decent edition of it out there for people to check out. So that's pretty much about it. You know, that was Story of Prunella. Pick it up on DVD from After Hours Cinema. It will not disappoint. This is Ed once again for the Blood Type Online YouTube channel. And go watch a dirty movie. How about that one?